Well, good morning. It's wild being back here, and such a pleasure. I too, like Nikki had said, when I saw who else was being inducted, it was an exciting time because I felt like I knew them extremely well, and they were true to my heart. And it was going to be a really great morning, and it's been a wild ride. I feel like since I've been here, there's been so much going on, and so many people that I feel like I've lost contact with, but every time I've come back to Emporia, it's like those friendships are right there where they were. So many great people in this room. I would be remiss without thanking Dr. Bill Quayle for giving me my first head coaching opportunity at Emporia State. I still remember my interview and him driving me around in his station wagon. And I wasn't sure that sucker was going to make the next stop, but we did. And it was wild every single day that I worked here. And, you know, we were capable of bringing in some great players, and many that you hear about, you know, Annetta and Yergita Koshaite, you know, Emily Blosses, you know, Tara Holloway's, all the All-Americans, but truly, the kids that make your team as great as they are the supporting cast. I mean, obviously, talent can win you a lot of games, but championships are built with the supporting cast, and we had so many tremendous players that they did their job. But also part of that supporting cast was that community and the administration here. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people or other coaches complain about some of the community functions they had to go to, whether it was the Chamber of Commerce here or Rotary. And those were two events here that I absolutely loved. I loved the Rotary Club I was a part of. I couldn't wait to go see those guys every morning. And then this community is amazing. And it was something that I'll never forget. And I've always talked about Emporia being one of those special places that you just can never get out of your soul because it's deeply embedded. And the thing that I love the most about that national championship run that we almost got was the fact that you just loved us. And it really didn't matter if we had lost that game or lost any other game, because you loved the team and the young ladies that were part of it so fully that you just appreciated who they were and what they were about. And that's what made that even more significant, because that type of love gives the players confidence. I mean, they didn't feel like they could ever fail. And I still remember that championship game, because when they gave us this trophy, the thing's ginormous, our kids shoved it in the corner because they were so disappointed. They felt like they let everybody down. But at the same time, I'm sure they look back at it now and realize what a great run it was and how much fun it was. And that's what you remember. You know, I cannot tell you one score of any game that I coached, ever. I can tell you usually if we won or lost, and maybe an official's name that ticked me off. You know, but I can tell you all that, but I can always tell you about the people. I can always tell you how going into wide auditorium and seeing Ed, you know, smiling around, asking if there's anything else he can do, or, you know, the football players coming all dressed up and harassing Dave Slifer. I love that. You know, and I remember the officials coming over and at times worrying that the crowd was a little rambunctious. And it was like, yeah, okay. And it was awesome. It was a great atmosphere. When you can present that kind of atmosphere in whatever stage, whether it's volleyball, track, football, basketball, like I said, it's contagious to the kids. And I would not be standing up here today if it wasn't for such great players to have to work with. I mean, Emily Bloss, I mean, someone that I still remember her recruiting visit. And her mom bringing her down and I asked her what she wanted to major in, and she said, and this is amazing, you remember this is an academic All-American over here, and she said, I don't care. She goes, I just want to be a good mom. And you're a great mom. And it cracked me up when she left and went to be a nanny. I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect. She's smart. But it was those kind of people that just they just leave such a great mark on you. But I also want to thank the table over here to my left. That I got two of my best friends here that have known me for a long time, and they're still here. And they know everything about me. And they didn't. When I told them I was being inducted, they didn't believe me, so I made them come. And then obviously Jim and Donna Stubenofer, who have just been great friends throughout. And when I was coaching at Mizzou, they'd come up when we played K-State, and they actually didn't cheer for K-State at that time, that I know of. But I'm sure they were secretly still clapping for them, but continued to support my career. And then Russ Jenkins, I mean, he's my money man. You know, he's got all of it. But, you know, Russ, when I became the head coach here, actually was the guy that, you know, kind of set me aside and started giving me my financial goals. And it was the best thing I ever did because it's allowing me to live a pretty good life right now and taking my time and pursuing my whatever it is next. But like I said, this is a great event. I appreciate everybody that's in this room and those that couldn't come because you guys are the ones that made it happen. Everything that I get credit for, I'm not sure why. It was you and the players. You know, I was along for a great ride and really appreciate it so much. So, and I do want to thank Slay because Slay was someone that was so terrific to work with. And if you remember some of the people I had to work with at Missouri, Norm Stewart, Win Snyder, I don't need to say anything after that. But Slay was awesome. And he was it was so hard walking by him when he was introducing me and not pinch him on the butt. But I just really enjoyed working with him side by side. He was a great inspiration to me. I still remember we had to teach classes. I don't know if the coaches still have teach classes here. They eliminated that one. That was probably after me because I probably ruined it for him. But Slay, I remember that we had to teach, so I remember telling my assistant coach, Brandon Schneider, you need to take some of Slay's classes because you're going to learn something from him. You know, and of course I'm assuming he's teaching basketball or coaching 101, administration, something like that. Oh no, he's teaching human sexuality. So needless to say, our road trips were very interesting. But he was great to work with, and like I said, this is something that is really true to my heart. I appreciate everything that you have done for me and that you continue to do. And I love you all. And a big hug to all of you. And if there's ever anything I can do, you guys mean so much to do, I would be happy to fulfill that request. So thank you again for everyone, and take care. Let's have a good Hornet win today.
Little clip in the 61-62 yearbook that I think summed up our 61 team. I wasn't on the 62 team, and I'd like to share that clip with you. As the call came for the 61-62 season of the cross-country competition, no one regarded the Hornets to be contenders for national honors. By the time the season drew to a close, Coach F.G. Fran Welch had molded the runners into one of the most competitive teams in the history of the Kansas State Teachers College. The Hornet Harriers annexed the top small college title by winning the National Cross-Country Meet, which was held in Omaha, Nebraska. The Hornets totaled 73 points and led the nearest rival by 2. Fort Hays State placed second with 75. The distance runners established a fine record of not having been defeated in dual meets all season. Wins were evident over such competition as Wichita University, University of Omaha, Air Force Academy, Fort Hays State, Graceland College, and Central Missouri State. In two outstanding invitational meets, the East State Harriers placed second in the Wichita Invitational and third in the Oklahoma State meet. To add to their accomplishments, Coach Welch guided his team to an unprecedented victory in the annual Central Intercollegiate Conference meet. We talked about people who could inspire. Coach Fran Welch was one of those that could kind of inspire. We talked about our priceless moments. This is a priceless moment for me. This has been a really great run. Talking about Emporia connections, my wife Rosie's here. We celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary last year. We were married in Emporia, and our daughter was born here in Emporia. So we have some good connections here. I have another priceless moment. Coach Pep Schenlack from Ellsworth High School, my high school coach.
I was one of the runners that was also on the 1962 team. There were four of us from the 61 team, Camion, Welk, and Atkins and myself that were on the 62 team, and then Peter Clark here joined us on that team. But one thing in terms of Arlen Sloan, he's no longer with us, and he's with us in spirit, we know, but I wish he could have been here today. In 1961, I don't know if Lynn was with us at that time or not at the motel the night before the meet, but we were talking to some kids from Central Connecticut College, and one of them didn't look much like a runner, but he was bragging that he was going to win the race the next day, and he did. In 1962, he was back, and we had a little more respect for him, but Arlen Sloan beat him that day and was national champion. Great bunch of guys here. I wish the others could have been here with us today, but that wasn't a possibility. I know John Canyon was inducted into the Kansas Hall of Fame a week ago, and it was a great honor for him. And we wish the rest of the team could have made it, but it didn't work out. We really appreciated our days here at Emporia State, and Fran Welch, motivator. We sometimes, when he wasn't around, would listen to call him pool table legs, but we had a little more respect for him than that, really. But he pointed the way, and we pretty much didn't have much choice but to go whatever way he pointed. All the support that we received back then through the university that we appreciate, and we're so glad to be here today and proud to be here today. And again, Ireland and Fran not with us, but I know they're looking down, and we hope we made them proud today. Thank you.